over there in your garden, separating the grass from the garden, there's like wood poles or
Those
something
are
there?
railroad ties.
Railroad ties.
Railroad ties are the most effective border you can make. One, because of their size and their weight, they don't move. And secondly, they never rot. Any treated material will eventually rot. I've used pressure treated wood in my place and they all rot. But those railroad ties have been there for 30 years and they're totally as sound as the day I put them there. And people badmouth creosote, but I'm just telling you it doesn't come off. The grass right next to it's totally bright green. There's absolutely no impact negatively because the creosote never leaves those railroad ties. It stays in there. That's why they last so long.
I'm glad you said that about the creosote because I knew somebody was going to ask.
And people always badmouth it. I says, come look at my grass on the side. Look how green it is. There's absolutely no impact. There's completely no evidence that anything's coming off those railroad ties. And the reason they're laying in the ground for 30 years indicates nothing's coming out. Otherwise, they'd be rotting. That creosote doesn't leave those ties. It stays in there.
This is about your pasture area, which looks a lot shorter than last time I was here.
I just had 38 sheep. They just took.
You had them back out here again?
Yeah. And it was great. She brought them here in April and they got it down good. I'm going to bring in 3 sheep now for myself. My brother wants to raise them to eat, so we'll have them for the rest of the year. But they were great to get my grass down.
Let's see. They're asking about swales or contours. Do you have any kind of purposely designed land fixtures in there to maybe hold in more water or anything like that?
No, mine's pretty flat, but it's on a grade. You see some slight grade, and that's the advantage of having plant upgrade, because downgrade will get all the runoff and will be very well supported, so you don't have to take care of that. And see, all my pasture is totally maintained by the compost seed coming off my orchard and garden. That's why the grass is so thick and the sheep have a hard time getting down, because it's just so well fertilized. I don't have to do anything, so plant above and everything down below will get covered.
What do you think about rock dust?
Rock dust is awesome, and rocks are great. Don't take rocks out of your garden because they're concentrated minerals. And so any rock material is wonderful for the soil. Wonderful.
One of my subscribers would like to increase their cattle carrying capacity of their property. Do you have any suggestions for improving pastures?
Woodchips. See my grass? You see how beautiful lush green it is over there? Every fall I put a layer of woodchips on it. And you see the woodchips release compost tea, and then they hold moisture, so you have a lot better water retention. So it's an amazing cover. Woodchips is nothing. You don't use woodchips to grow things in. And they do great for grass.
So I know when you're setting up the garden, you want to kill off the grass, and you put down the cardboard, newspaper, anything like that. So if you wanted the grass to grow better, forget the cardboard newspaper.
Just put a light layer, maybe a couple inches over it. The grass will come right through, and all that wood chips laying there. Every time it rains or you water, compost is released, and then that cover will hold moisture, so you have a lot better moisture retention. And your grass will you can see how nice the grass is, and you can look in there. There's wood chips underneath it.
So just like on your grass, just an inch or two of wood chips. Yeah. Leave it for the winter.
Fall. And do it fall, and when the grass stops growing. And then you're good. Next spring you'll have the nicest pasture you ever had. And every year do it. It just keeps getting better. And now for a pasture you want to use like a finer grade wood chip, like 1/4 inch. Run it through a 1/4 inch stream, because the heavier stuff would be more difficult for the grass to grow through. So finer material is ideal for the grass.
Okay. When you started on the other property that you have with all the rocks, did you put compost underneath the wood chips, or did you wait until the ground was covered and then start adding it?
No, I just covered it with wood chips and started planting right in, because it's all rock. So I just put the wood chips over it and just pulled the wood chips back. And when I got near the rock, I started planting, and things were growing great.
After a cold winter, will mulching hinder or help the ground warming up?
Compost wood chips is an amazing insulator. And that's why I love, if you look at nature, no matter how cold it gets, 40 below, nothing ever dies in nature. Nothing. Because the ground is insulated. Wood chips covering is the most incredible insulation you could ever provide for the ground. What's amazing too is, seeds that happen in the fall, they fall on the ground, are exposed to severe winters, 40 below, whatever, and amazing in the spring, those seeds come up. They went through all that wet and cold, and they didn't rot, because they're laying on a material that's aerated and insulated. I'm telling you, it's so obvious. And everybody's farm next to those wooded areas that nothing dies, everything freezes because the ground's uncovered. It's just so obvious and so bizarre how we don't get it.
This person says they live in a dry climate and it takes longer for the wood chips to break down and compost. Is there a way to speed up this composting process?
Well, they got it. Water it. Water always increases the composting process, so watering is very critical to get compost to happen. That's why the fall is the ideal time, because you have winter when you're doing all the watering naturally. So that's the best time to apply it is in winter, so you really, those wood chips absorb a huge amount of water. And something else I just learned this year was so cool about wood chips. Wood chips laying on the ground actually absorb moisture out of the air at night like the mist, the dew, and they store it in their cells to release the plants around them. I'm telling you, it's so awesome.
Wow.
It's incredible, wood chips. I just incredible.
What are the benefits of fungus or mushrooms, and are there good ones and bad ones for wood chips?
Well, if you put wood chips down, you can have mushrooms grow because it's a great environment for them to grow, and they like living there. And so, I mean, all those things are wonderful because they're part of the composting process. All those bacteria, fungus, are necessary for compost to happen. And if you just put wood chips on the ground, all that comes in naturally. You don't have to, inoculate it or do it. It just happens on its own because that's the design of nature.
Are there certain mushrooms that you wouldn't want in the garden like that?
Well, they show up, and the ones I can't eat, I'll just knock out and let them compost. The rest, the ones that are good, I'll save and eat.
Oh.
So you just, but laying on the ground, those, just knock them out. They'll just compost and make good soil.
That's pretty much what I've been doing with mine. When I see mushrooms, I just say, oh, hey,
Just knock
knock it over.
They'll get exposed to air, they dry up, and they just turn back to dirt.